Many of us thought that Toy Story 3 brought about the perfect conclusion to the franchise. Little did we know the mad geniuses at Pixar had one more compelling story up their sleeves. Stick around and find out why Toy Story 4 may be the series' finest installment. What is up, everyone, and welcome to Men vs. Movies. I'm Griffin, as always, and if this is your first time checking out one of our videos, consider hitting that subscribe button where we take on the best and worst of cinema on a weekly basis. Toy Story 4 is directed by Josh Cooley and stars Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Keanu Reeves, Tony Hale, Annie Potts, Christina Hendricks, Jordan Peele, and Keegan-Michael Key. Adjusting to life with his new kid, Bonnie, Woody struggles to find purpose in transitioning to life after Andy. When Bonnie's new arts and crafts project turned toy, Forky, declares himself trash, Woody takes him under his wing to show Forky the value and responsibility of being a toy. But when Bonnie takes her toys on a road trip, Woody gets separated only to run into an old friend, Bo Peep. Much has changed, and Woody begins to question his place as a toy. It's extremely rare for a franchise to make it successfully through 3 films, and it's even rarer for each film to be just as good, in some cases better, than the previous one. However, what might be one of the most impressive feats the creatives at Pixar concocted was one of the most universally satisfying conclusions to a series ever. Therein lies the challenge, and therein lies the gamble that Pixar so confidently accepts. As they've done countless times before, facing an uphill battle, these masterminds in Emeryville, California came out on top with Toy Story 4 in what is some of the franchise's finest and most poignant work to date. Though a veteran of Pixar, Toy Story 4 marks director Josh Cooley's feature directorial debut. And while many would succumb to the fear of telling the next chapter in an already perfect and seemingly finite series, Cooley embraces this challenge without any hesitation. Perhaps much of this has to do with the quality and strength of the script, but Cooley approaches Toy Story 4 as if it were a first-rate dessert that completes an already world-class meal. Cooley injects a brisk pace and exciting energy into the veins of this film while expertly balancing and marinating an emotionally resonant heart as Woody not only goes on an odyssey of finding his way home, but of self-discovery as well. There are endless amounts of clever comedy, a large part of which can be attributed to Keegan-Michael Key, Jordan Peele, and most notably, Keanu Reeves. And this surprisingly helps crown Toy Story 4 the funniest Toy Story yet. But all of this is wrapped up in a distinct adventure, the likes of which the series has not seen before. Akin to Raiders of the Lost Ark adventure films, we're introduced to exotic new locales, for a toy that is, and toy havens that expand further and explore the world of Toy Story. While from a human perspective, the environment appears somewhat contained, the filmmakers wisely bring us down to a toy's eye level and allow us to see the seemingly ordinary from a new perspective. The attention to detail in constructing these elaborate environments is exceptional. From the dust, yes, there's a lot of it, and the filmmakers spent a lot of time perfecting the look of said dust, to the cobwebs, to the collection of plugs and wires found behind a shelf, to Woody and Buzz's weathered markings from years of playtime. Everything is so impeccably materialized in a way that immerses you further into this world like never before. Not only that, but the film makes for some of Pixar's most exceptional animation to date. It's really easy to go, oh, it's Pixar, we should expect the best. But what truly allows these striking visuals to dazzle is the delivery of the most mature and relatable Toy Story story. Toy Story story. All right, we're gonna roll with it. Toy Story tale the filmmakers have conceived thus far. More so than previous entries, Toy Story 4 truly is Woody's story. Woody has always been a character that is so sure of his purpose in life, taking care of his kid essentially. And now that Andy has moved on, he feels his responsibilities lie with Bonnie. Woody attempts to provide for his new kid the same way he did with Andy, but the fact of the matter is, Bonnie's different. She isn't really interested in cowboy dolls. She's more fascinated with the sandbox her arts and crafts creation Forky provides. In an attempt to feel useful again, Woody tries to impart some wisdom onto Forky, but this only furthers his internal struggle as he desperately clings to the past as a means of moving on. But in actuality, he's just as lost as the spork he's mentoring. And Tom Hanks just guides this character with a real sense of vulnerability in what is quite possibly his best work voicing Woody. Thematically, Toy Story 4 deals in undertones of transition and purpose, and while Woody is the most prominent example of this, almost every major character in this film deals with their own version of it. For every manic, expressive, and hilarious line of dialogue or action Tony Hale brings to life, Forky is ultimately someone overwhelmed with the world and what it expects of him. Gabby Gabby is a rather complex antagonist who mirrors Woody's current state but pushed to the extreme. She's desperate for a child's love and to love them in return. Duke Kaboom, Canada's greatest stuntman, in a hilariously scene-stealing and charismatic turn by Keanu Reeves, lives in the shadow of his commercialized self, incapable of completing the awesome stunts his advertisement depicts, and he ultimately has to accept who he truly is. Buzz embarks on a journey of discovering his own voice separate from Woody as the Space Ranger comes into his own as a person. Bo arguably gets the biggest boost in this film as she's limited her emotional attachments as a survivalist lost toy, and while she certainly has an impact on Woody's transition, she discovers a higher calling that could change her entire outlook on life. This thematic consistency across the characters allows for their journeys to naturally work together as each arc furthers the next. This symbiotic relationship crescendos to a satisfying emotional impact that, most importantly, feels earned. While younger viewers are sure to learn some valuable lessons here, it's the adults and the viewers who grew up with the Toy Story films who are truly going to relate as they're moved to tears. Before I give you my final verdict on Toy Story 4, guys, why don't you take a second here and like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel if you feel so inclined for more movie reviews and movie-related content on a weekly basis. Toy Story 4 presents the surprisingly much-needed epilogue to a story many thought to be complete, providing an even more fitting conclusion. Josh Cooley bursts out of the gate here in his directorial debut with high energy, tight storytelling, a rousing adventure, laugh-out-loud comedy, charming new characters, and most importantly, a tender and, dare I say, personal core. It's everything you could ever hope for in a Pixar film and is sure to be the family event of the summer. And if there's one thing that Toy Story 4 has taught us, it's never bet against Pixar when it comes to these treasured toys. And so, for all of these reasons and the reasons I've mentioned throughout my review, I'm ultimately going to be giving Toy Story 4 Supercharged. And now I want to hear from you all. I want to know what your favorite Toy Story film is down in the comments section below. And if you've seen the film, be sure to let me know your thoughts on Toy Story 4 down there as well. As always, guys, you can like Men vs. Movies on Facebook, follow us on Twitter simply by searching Men vs. Movies. And lastly, if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right, that's going to do it for this review, guys. And until next time, take care.